Welcome back to New to Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and we are coming to you the weekend before the 4th of July. Starting first off, I hope you guys all have a great 4th. I hope you all stay safe, spend time with people you enjoy, your family, your friends, loved ones, and just have a great weekend and make sure to take advantage of it. Life's too short not to. So hope you guys have a good 4th. Wanted to start off with a quick little message. But today we're going to go in. I have a lot of new listeners, and I really appreciate you guys. I'm so excited to have you guys here on the channel. I'm excited to have everybody reaching out via LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. You guys, if you haven't, LinkedIn, Jacob McLaughlin, TikTok, and Instagram, New to Medical Device Sales. Feel free to reach out as you guys are listening to this. I'm going to go over an episode that I feel is like going to be an episode that's going to be very helpful, where it's everything you need to know to get hired. And what this is going to be is me doing a refresher for everybody who's been listening for a long time. You guys might have heard this before, but it would be a good one to listen to again, to maybe see if you guys are doing some of the things that we've talked about on this podcast. And if you guys are new, this is going to be an episode where I'm kind of doing a deep dive of, my whole journey. So again, if you guys haven't known me for a very long time, if you haven't seen the previous episodes, I was a personal trainer just about not even a year ago. So it's been under a year that I've been in medical device. I was a personal trainer, decided I wanted to break into medical device sales, and in about 5.5 months, I networked with over 3,000 people, kept an Excel sheet, got in. We'll dive deeper into this on this podcast, and I ended up getting 4 job offers from top 30 medical device sale companies. So if you Google medical device sale companies, like the top ones, on that list of 30, I had 4 of them give me a job offer. And I'm just sharing my experience. I'm sharing what I did to be successful to get those job offers. And also, I have guests on here, if you guys go back to who all broke in, or they're President Club winners, or they do recruiting, just guests that are going to help bring you guys value. So I highly recommend that you guys, if you're just listening to this episode, please go back to the previous episodes, because there's going to be a lot of good things that I've covered before that will probably answer a lot of questions. But this is going to be kind of the summed up of everything, basically from the start to the finish, what I did and what you guys can do to make sure that you guys are ensuring that you're getting job interviews, that you guys are getting job offers. So again, title of this one is going to be everything you need to know to get hired, everything that I did, and then we're going to just go with that. But first, if you guys are watching on YouTube, please press that like and subscribe button. If you guys are following on the podcast, a 5-star review helps us reach more people, and share this podcast to tell people about how to break into this awesome industry. And if you guys haven't, in the show notes, newtomedicaldevicesales.com is my ebook, where I go into detail of everything I'm going to lay out in today's podcast, and it's how I broke in and got 4 job offers. It has messages that you guys will be able to take. It shows my business plans that I'll go into, and everything you needed to know that I did to get hired, it's in that ebook. So if you guys are interested in that, please feel free to go grab that. So going into it, you guys, everything you need to know to get hired. I've said this a million times. It's something that you guys, if you've listened to me more than once, you should know. The number one thing I'm always going to stay true to, it's networking. It's networking. It's not what you know, it's who you know. I say it till I'm blue in the face. I've said it a million times on this podcast. But I just had someone call me today, and again, they're just like, how do I break in? And I just try to tell them, it's not what you know, it's who you know. You got to know somebody that's going to get your foot in the door, to give you a shot at least to impress the manager, to impress the hiring managers, and let you get yourself just an opportunity to break in. So networking is huge. Now, the next question is, who should I network with? Well, first off, I think you should network with anybody, because if you're going to break in and you don't have sales experience, or you've never been in medical device sales, you're probably going to start in as an associate. And again, I dive into the salary and what that job entails if you guys haven't in other episodes, but as an associate sales rep. So I think there's benefit of talking to an associate sales rep and being able to learn what their job duties are, what their day looks like, just learn about the job and what they're doing, because that's probably what you would be coming into. And then going into the full line sales rep, that's why people network with me. I'm a full line sales rep. So being able to talk to me, which is a little different than an associate sales rep, because I actually have like a quota that I have to hit. And so this would be what people are trying to get into. So being able to talk to them and see what their day is like, and what the responsibilities they have, and what's the pros, what's the cons, and all that, and just different companies. I think you should talk with other people, and we've talked about different divisions. Like I've said, there's capital, there's orthopedics that breaks down into a bunch, there's minimally invasive, like there's just so many. So again, being able to talk to all these different people, that's why it's important. And then also managers. Managers are the ones that are going to be doing the hiring. So not territory managers, but regional managers, district managers. Those are the people that have the power to hire. So those are the people you want to be reaching out to. I think from us, I reached out to everyone from associates to managers. I think there's going to be a lot of value everywhere you can go to learn from them. So I would highly recommend you do that. Now, the next question is, okay, so I now know go associate, full line sales rep, everybody. Where do I go to? I 100% say LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where everybody on medical device sales lives. That is their resume, basically. That's where I get, recruiters reaching out to me, asking me about other jobs. Like, LinkedIn is the place to be. So if you guys are trying to reach out to people, go to LinkedIn. And this is how easy it is. If you can't find a person that's a sales rep, you can go to the company's website. So if you just Google medical device sales companies, one will come up. You go into LinkedIn, you search that. That company will pop up, their page will. You click on that, you can go into the tabs where it says jobs posted, but you can also go where it's people, and you just click on the people, and then you can literally go into the city. Like, I could go here, I'm in Phoenix, I can go to Phoenix and see everybody who works for that company, and then just see if they're a sales rep, and then I can add them, and then I would add them, and then I would shoot them a message after they added me, and we'll go deeper into that message. But that's what you guys need to do. So you guys need to reach out to people, and LinkedIn is your best friend. That's where I had always the most success. And for me, that's where I could reach out to 3,000 people, because I could be like, hey, I'm going to go to these top 5 companies that I want to work for, and I'm going to just search Phoenix, bam, 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 go into that. And then I could do others. I could do New York. I had talked with people from everywhere in the US, all over. I even talked to some people not in this country. So you can literally talk to so many people. It's just making that message. Then going into what should that message be? I talked about this. I have a lot of people ask me what the message I put. Again, I've said this on the podcast before, but really how it is you're going to be short and sweet to the point. You're going to say who you are, why you're trying to break in, or that you're trying to break in. You try to find a piece of information that you can correlate with them. So for me, I would go to their Facebook or their Instagram or any social media to see if I could find them, or just check their LinkedIn profile. Maybe they went to a college that, was a rival or something, and you can make a comment and make that connection. Or you can say, hey, I see that you like golf. I'm a big golfer, talk about a golf course maybe they played, things like that. Just being able to make a correlation. And then asking for their advice, asking to learn from them. That's what this whole profession is we're teaching as reps. So people want to teach, ask to learn from them. And so my thing was always, hi, my name's Jacob McLaughlin. I'm a personal trainer here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm interested in breaking in medical device sales. And then you could put that little tad bit of, what you found. Hey, I saw you're a big golfer. I am too. Or just leave it out if you can't find anything. And then I said, I would love to learn from you. I see that you've had a lot of success in this industry, and I just wanted to see if you would be able, or you'd be available for a quick call or message, and then just leave your number. Now, here's the number one thing. I say this and people listen to my podcast and then they still don't do it when they reach out to me. Leave your number every single time, because when I get a message and I'm driving in the car and I have a 20-minute commute and someone gets it, I'll just hit it and I'll call them right then and there. So whoever you guys are reaching out to, always leave your number, because you want to make their life as easy as possible. If you make it harder, they're not going to reach back out to you. So you need to be able to do that. And then if you don't, it just makes it harder, and they have to send a second message. And now I have to wait on you to reply back to me, So just make their life as easy as possible. And then, see if they respond back. And this is where I tell everybody, when I say I reached out to 3,000 people, that doesn't mean I talked with 3,000 people. That means I sent over 3,000 messages to people. And, like I said, I have an Excel sheet of 180 people that responded back to me. So I made the Excel sheet and I said who they were, what their company was, what their position was, what day I talked to them, and some notes about the conversation. And the reason that's important is we'll go into it later, but that's me doing the job, because I knew I was going to have to do that once I was going to break in. So again, that's really where it goes to networking, and why it's important is if I've cold called managers, that got me job interviews, because they were looking and they saw the hunger in me. I called reps, I met top reps who had big say when it comes to, hey, we're looking for an associate. Well, if the top reps putting your name up, Well, that could get you right into the interview process, right? So that's why it's so important to network. So that's how you guys network. And again, you just got to make sure that you're reaching out to enough people. And most people, I say, this is the last one that I put, the last podcast was, the average person does 20 and then they don't get a response and then they're like, oh, it's never going to work out. Like, you have to be hungry. Like, literally thousands of people. If you reach out to 1,000 people and keep an Excel sheet of how many respond back to you. And if you guys don't have one interview after 1,000 people, that's when you really need to look at like, hey, how's my messaging? Maybe I need to switch things up. All right, number 2, you got to know your story. You got to be different. Knowing your story is what sets you apart. So when you get on these phones with these reps, these managers, you got to be able to stand out. And so for me, first off, it's the hunger, it's the passion, right? When I talk, I'm just always hungry. I want more, and I want to help you. That's why I'm so passionate about this right now. I want to help whoever is listening right now. And you guys got to be able to put that across, because if you're just a boring person and you're like, hey, I kind of want to get into medical device sales, like, they feel that and they're like, that you're not going to be remembered, and they're not going to be like, hey, I had a good feeling after talking with Jacob or talking with whoever. They want to know that you're hungry and you want to break in. So first off, be passionate about coming in. Know that you're going to make a difference. And piggybacking off that is, like I said, know your story. Know why you want to get into medical device sales. And we've talked about this before. Saying you want to go into medical device sales because of the money, it'll never work. That can be a piece of it, but if that's the only reason, I've literally talked to managers, they told me that, they're out. First round, not even messing with it, because you won't last if it's just for the money. So know your story. Know what has impacted your life to make you want to break in. For me, it was like, I have family in the medical field, so I've been around it my whole life. I also had, I was a personal trainer. I love to help people. I want to know that I'm making an impact, and knowing that I would be, selling a product or something that has an impact on a human's life. That's what drives me. That's what makes me hungry. I was excited to, work with top performers. Surgeons and doctors and all these people are some of the smartest people you'll ever be around. So I don't want to be the smartest one in the room. And then also, I was driven financially. That's not the only piece, but that is a piece. So being able to know your story, know why you want to get into this job, and know why you're going to be different. For me, I was the personal trainer. I already worked from 5 a.m. till 8 p.m. So I would be like, I'm already working more than your reps. I knew some of the divisions. I'm like, I already work more. So this job, it wouldn't be a problem. The hours, no problem, because you might get someone who worked at my 9 to 5. That's a problem. They're like, for the day, they have to be at the hospital at 6 a.m. and they got to work till 7 p.m. That's a problem for them. But the guy who I was up at 4 a.m. every day, I'm at the gym at 4:45, and I would go straight until 8. Sometimes I would walk through my door at 9 p.m. and I'd do it day in and day out. I was like, I'm not afraid to come in. And then for me, I was able to show why I was different. I could tell them, hey, I kept an Excel sheet. I've talked to 111 people right now. Oh, really? Yeah, I can send that over if you'd like. That's the big thing, is I was trying to show that I could stand out. I was different than the other people, because most people are just calling to be like, hey, I'm interested in breaking in, or they're just seeing what they can get from someone. Compared to me, I was seeing what I could learn from someone, but also show, hey, I'm hungry to break in, and this is what I'm doing, and I would love your advice. One of the best questions I could ask is like, hey, you heard who I am. I'm 25 years old. I'm hungry to break in. Can I please get your advice? What would you do if you were in my shoes? That was one of the best questions I could ask, because then they're going to dive in deep. They're going to tell you what they would do, and just be ready. It might not be the answer you want to hear. Like I tell people all the time, I got told a million times I need to go work at, a B2B job, ADP, sell paychecks, like whatever it is, sell copiers, printers. And I was like in my head, I'm like, no way, I will never do that. But when I talked to him, I said, okay, I appreciate the advice. Because just because it's their advice doesn't mean it's right, but just because it's your opinion doesn't mean it's right either. I could have still been looking for a job because I was too stubborn to go get a B2B sales job. But I just believed in myself that, hey, I can make it without it. But for most people, when I talk to managers, most people need that sales experience, because they want to make sure you're not going to quit the first time you get yelled at. And that will happen. When you get into medical device sales, like I tell people, just this week, I got yelled at by a lot of people when it wasn't my fault at all, but I had to deal with it. And again, it still falls on to me because I'm the rep and it's my product and they're having problems, even if it's nothing to do with me, but I have to be able to talk it out and take the blame and go with that. So you guys just have to be able to show that you're willing to do this job and how you're going to stand out. And that's something, because when I had people go into bat for me, it was because they remembered me. And even when I got hired, I had people I talked to a couple times. I had 3 people after I got hired reach back out to me, and they're like, "Hey, are you still looking? Because we have job offer or job opportunity, and I remember talking to you." So just make sure that you guys are standing out. Know your story. Know why you want to break in, because these are questions they're going to ask you. And you got, like, the people who come prepared are the people that stand out, because most people, even when they talk to me, like even today, I'll ask a question and it's, like, this is a hard industry to break into. It's tough. You need to show why you're going to stand out. And just piggybacking off that real quick is, once you break in, when you go in the interview process, everybody's good. Like, this is a hard industry to break in. Just to get an interview, it's hard. But then once you get into the interviews, everybody's a good candidate. So what are you doing to separate yourself? That's where this all comes in. So again, this is just helpful advice for you guys to start really looking at yourself. Hey, if I really want a job, like, if you take this seriously for the next 5 months and you go hard and you do everything that I've said in these podcasts, I have all the screenshots from you guys that have said, "Hey, I got a job." Like, literally, I have over 50 right now of people who've done the podcast, read the book, and they're like, "Hey, thank you so much. I got a job." And then they're almost always with a big company, So again, I can't say it because of just legal issues. I'm not trying to go into that realm, but, like, again, they're big companies that are going because they're showing that they're hungry and they're standing out, and all companies, not just big companies, but big companies want to know you're going to make a difference if they're going to spend the money. Same with small companies. But if you're trying to go for the bigger companies, that's just something to know. You got to really stand out, because a lot of people are trying to get in with the big companies. And I say that too because, like, I'm with one of the largest ever, and it's like I have reps reach out to me that they're like, "I've been trying to break in for 10 years. I'm in Device, but I'm trying to break in with that company for 10 years." So for me, I'm very fortunate that it's my first job, but just know that it's very competitive. It's not an easy space to get into. So you guys have to come and bring your A game. And if you're just trying to be a C player, first off, you're not going to break in. But second off, if you do break in, you're not going to last long, because C players aren't going to last. You're not going to hit your quota. In 2 years, you'll be fired, So you guys got to make sure you're ready to play and you're ready to come to this job industry to make a difference and also perform. Number 3. You got to do the job to get the job. And this is what I told people. That's why I kept the Excel sheet. That's why I would always be reaching out to people and networking. And this is why I'm always big on networking. Everyone thinks I'm saying networking just to say networking. No, this is literally my job. When I take over a territory and they're like, "We got to grow business," I have to network with surgeons and doctors and get them and do lunches and meet them in the OR. And I have to get people to like me and be willing to at least trial my stuff so I can try to get them as new business, right? Like, that's what you guys have to do. It's no different than when you're trying to break in and you're trying to get in front of a manager that you want the job opening for. Like, I have to get creative on how I'm going to get them. I got to figure out who influences that person, like, maybe it's an associate sales rep that can get you in touch with that sales rep, who could get you in touch with that manager. Like, you have to start being creative on how you're going to get it, because it's no different than like a surgeon. I got to find out who influences that person to get in front of them, to have a conversation, to set a lunch, like something. So you guys have to talk about doing the job to get the job, because here's the number one thing I say about it. When you're sitting in the interview process, the job for medical device is to find a weakness and sit on it and see how you respond. That's what they do in these interviews, right? You're never gonna, normally, like, maybe you have a medical background. Well, then you don't have sales background. Well, maybe you have a sales background, but you don't have medical background. Like, maybe you don't have both, like myself, right? And they're just gonna pick on it the whole time, and you got to be able to respond and be able to answer those concerns that they have. So again, this is why it's important, because somebody like myself, when I was trying to break in, they're like, "Well, you don't have any of these experiences to get in front of these doctors, right?" And I said, "I totally understand, but in the same respect, I was able to influence the people that influenced you, and here I am sitting in the interview process with you with no sales experience." I was able to combat those concerns that they would have by showing it. Hey, I know when I'm going out in the field, I'm going to have to be going to certain locations, and I'm going to have to be putting when I was there last, so I know when to follow up with them and go back to them, and I need to know notes last time I was there, what happened, so when I go back next time, I know what's going on. So when I kept that Excel sheet with everything in those lines, and I could print that out and show them when they had concerns, hey, I did this to break in. I've already done what I would do once I'm in, And so that's what they want to do. They want to be so sure, because if you guys go back to that one I did with Jay, he talked about it's a lot of money and it's a lot of time, and they want to make sure they're making the right choice. So they need to be for sure that you're not going to come in, it's going to be too much for you, and you're going to quit 3 months later, and now they have to restart it, right? They want to make sure that it's the right choice for them. So that's why doing the job to get the job is so important. Number 4, following up. I've said this a million times. You've got to follow up, making sure that they know, like every time I talked with somebody, again, how I stand out. Every time I talked with someone within an hour, normally, maybe it was 2 or 3 if I had other stuff going on, but normally within an hour, I would shoot a follow-up message saying, thank you so much for your time. I would put a piece of information that I learned, and then I would say, hope you have a great rest of your week or whatever, or thank you so much, hope to stay in touch, whatever it is. But that's what you have to do to stand out, because it's the same once you guys get in the job interview. You guys got to make sure to follow up. And I've even been told, even during my interview process, some managers will not respond to the first email. So you got to make sure you're following up, because it's a test. Because doctors aren't going to follow up with you, right? Like you're going to have to be the one that keeps it going. So sometimes it's a test, and they want to see how you're going to respond. So you guys got to make sure that you guys are following up, making sure that you put like where you got value from when you talk to them, and just making yourself stand out again. So again, the reason follow-up is so important, that is the job, right? Like when I go talk to a surgeon and we talk about trying to get a something on the books, and they're like, yeah, let's do it, talk to my scheduler, right? And then I have to follow up with the scheduler. Hey, we don't have anything right now, but check back in a couple weeks. Okay, well then I have to check up in a couple weeks, otherwise I won't get that new business, right? So again, it all comes down to being part of the job. Then number 5, really the last one, you guys, it's a numbers game. I've said this a million times when I say you just need one, right? It only takes one person, one company to take a chance on you. So that's why when I was like, hey, if I reach out to 3,000 people, well, I'm pretty confident that I can at least get one job offer out of that. And if I can't, I need to re-look at what I'm doing and make adjustments to that. So that's what I would really push you guys to, is like, most people reach out to me, and I talked about this, about being below average, above average, what I'm seeing about people who get jobs. When you reach out to me and you've heard that I reached out to 3,000 people, and you tell me you only reached out to 20, you haven't got a job interview yet. Like, first off, that's a slap in my face, because I'm like, well, you heard what I did. And second of all, you don't deserve one. What have you done? You've reached out to 20, you shot 20 messages. I literally can copy and paste, and I can do that in 15 minutes. I can reach out to 20 people right now. Like, you have to go above and beyond, and you guys have to be reaching out to people. And just think, like if I had my 5 companies, but each companies have 6 divisions. Well, there's a lot of people to reach out to. So I can go, and again, you just need that one person to go to bat for you, because then it can go. And that's what I did. Every place I went, like one of my big job offers, I was able to cold call, got lucky, cold called a regional manager that was looking for a spot in the next 3 months. He told me to follow up with him every Thursday at 8 a.m. I put a reminder in my phone. Every Thursday, I shot him a text just asking about the position, hope he was doing well. And he said, hey, not this week, follow up with next week. Did that for 3 months. The job opened up. I was one of the top 2 candidates right away, because I had done what he had asked. And then I ended up getting that job offer, So again, that's just one, The next one, I ended up finding out who the top rep was. I was able to meet a top rep at a company. Well, they got me in touch with the manager, and the top rep was going to bat for me when we were going through the job interview, So when you have the top person producing place in that territory, well, that manager is probably going to take a little listen to what they're saying, because they're producing, they're the best player on the team. So again, it's a numbers game, and you guys just have to find one person to go to bat for you. And I say this, I was very fortunate to get 4 of those offers, but in the same respect, 3 of those offers came within 24 hours. So that first offer came a month before. It was out of state. I had stuff that was here local. I was in the job. I was in interviews with them, and it was looking very promising. And so that's why I passed on that first job offer. But those next 3, literally, I got the call 15 minutes before my final interview for the company I work for now, from another company telling me I got the job. Then I had to go do my interview. Later that day, I got the job, or call about that I got the job. And right before I had got that first call, an hour before then, I had another company telling me I was the dude, right? So it all just shows that like 6 months worth of work, reaching out to thousands and thousands of people, it all came down to the last 24 hours. Really it came down to, the last 8 hours of getting these job offers. So again, you guys, you just need one person to take a shot on you. But I promise you, if you guys go from just this podcast, I know this is a longer one, but I try to condense from start what I did to finish. Again, if you guys are looking for more detail, grab the book, go back and listen to all the videos, go back to listen to all the podcasts, because I'm not hiding anything. Again, the ebook I put together was just for those people who want to visually see it. Like I put my business plan. I worked harder than most people. It took me 10 hours to put a business plan together, but when I came in, that's what separated me, and I already knew so much stuff. So again, that business plan, I put it in my ebook. You guys literally can copy and paste it and do it for your situation. Messages I sent managers and reps, my exact messages in there. You can copy and paste it and then just switch it up to you. And the last thing I want to say when you guys are listening to me, I don't want you to think that my way is the only way, because it's not. There's millions of different ways. I'm just sharing with you guys what I did and what I had success with. And you guys, I hope, just take one piece. Maybe it's one piece that you're like, hey, I liked he did this. I don't like all the other stuff. That's okay. But just take what works for you in your situation, because it's all different, and just be able to and do something with it. And that's the biggest thing is, can you be active with it? Most people listen to all these podcasts, and I was a person, I used to listen to a podcast, but the difference is, can you act on it? Can you put what I'm saying into action? Because the people who put it into action, I promise you will get job offers and get job interviews and job offers, because I see it every day. I wake up usually 1 to 2 messages via LinkedIn or Instagram saying someone got a job, which is amazing. And I love that. So again, my whole point of making this podcast was to be as helpful to you guys, because I had a lot of people help me, but I also felt like people sometimes hold things back. And I just want to be transparent with you, because I don't have anything to hide. And also, there's enough to go around. It's like the same with personal training. Some people would like keep stuff in because they don't want others to get jobs. Like when I was a personal trainer, there's millions of people. I can't train everyone, right? Just like there's millions of divisions and millions of job opportunities, the more the merrier. I hope you guys can break into this industry. You absolutely love it. It's your dream career, and you guys go and you just do what you love, and financially you're set, and it's just everything you hoped for. That is my goal with this podcast. So again, you guys, I appreciate the support. I appreciate all the love that I get in the messages, and that it's helpful, that you guys are finding this helpful. It truly means a lot. I appreciate you guys just reaching out, just telling me how helpful it's been, and telling me specifics, and nothing makes me happier than seeing you guys say, hey, I did what you said, and now I got a job, or hey, I got your book and it helped me so much. I got a job opportunity, or I got a job offer and I just accepted. That's what this is all about, and this is why I love it. So again, you guys, I appreciate you. If you haven't, please press that like and subscribe button. If you are watching on YouTube, if you guys are listening on the podcast, please, a 5-star review helps us reach more people and let them know about this amazing industry. And then if you guys haven't and you're just looking for a little more, you maybe want to see visually, I go in on that new to medical device salesbook.com or new to medical device sales.com, my ebook. I go into detailed messages that I sent people. I show my Excel sheet, how I set it up. I show you how to search everything like I talked about on LinkedIn. I show messages that I sent. I show follow-up messages that I sent after interviews. I show my business plan that I did. I try to go in as much detail for somebody to take and be able to use in their own situation. And again, I had one person reach out to me and we talked on the phone. They're like, I just took one thing from that book, but that I felt like made the difference. And that's what I'm saying is, again, I don't need you guys to do it the exact same way that I did it. I just hope I can be a resource and help you guys just get 1% better, or just something that you can take that helps get you the positions that you guys are looking for. So again, I'll stop rambling. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great week whenever you guys are listening to this, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.